Alright, welcome back. Favorite bands A to Z, we're on O now, and this video series is basically where I choose my favorite band or artist for each respective letter, and then I choose a runner-up, and I choose a release from either, or both rather, that I like, and yeah, so we're on O, like I said. I want to say shoutouts to Sea of Tranquility for kind of inspiring me to do this video series. And it's, a fun idea, definitely, and really gets you kind of thinking about who is my favorite. And some of the letters are so hard, like G, like there was like a four-way tie going on in my head almost. So yeah, for O, O is a rap duo that I discovered really, really early on during their fourth album cycle, and became kind of a casual fan, and then a year later picked up their greatest hits CD, and then didn't really get it at first when I was young and stupid, and and then it started to make sense, and years later I even appreciated them even more, and now I really appreciate them, and I think that this group has had the best four-album run in the whole genre. And, Tribe Called Quest, they come close, De La Soul with their first four. Beastie Boys, you could kind of say they have one of the best four-album runs in rap, but because every one of their records has so many other styles on it, except for like two that are all rap, you can't really say them. Anyway, it's Outkast, and this is of course like a compilation CD, like box set. So which of the three will I choose? So their debut's not in here. That one's really good, but I do think these two in particular are stronger. That's ATLians, and obviously a play on words because they're from the ATL, and Aquemini. So it's going to be this one. ATLians, their sophomore record. This is one of the best sophomore records you could have because, it's obviously a different style than the debut. They started going in a different direction. There's a lot of jazz influence and funk, and they definitely weren't doing what was kind of popular in 1996, was it? But it paid off in the long run, and it really, made everyone realize how individual these two guys were and how influential they would become. And, the raps on here are inspiring. Andre 3000 is already kind of going off into a new plane of thinking, and he would even more so in 98. And they really weren't doing things like other rappers were doing, and, they were just doing it for themselves. And there's a lot of, like, knowledge in their rhymes, considering how young these guys were. They really had something to say. Like Andre 3000 said, the South has something to say. Yeah, a lot of career highlights on this, like Elevators, Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac, Wheels of Steel, and my personal favorite from the record is the title track. And I think that might be my favorite Outkast song, but, there's about 5 I could choose, and they have, like, 20 to 30, all-time greats. And, it's rare for an album in rap for the time to be so consistent. Like, you actually want to listen the whole way in, and Aquemini's just like that, and the debut, and Stankonia's great. It's got really high highs, but it's not quite as consistent, but it doesn't take away from the fact that that is one of the best 4-album runs in rap, and it's my personal favorite 4-album run. So yeah, ATLians, and look at that cover art. I can't wait to get a vinyl copy of this. They put out a reissue. It comes out in August. So I've always been thinking of buying, all the Outkast stuff on vinyl, and it's definitely time with this reissue coming out. They haven't been cheap, and the reissue's not cheap either, but it's time, It's a classic. One of the classics of the 90s. The runner-up band is going to be Our Lady Peace, who are like a post-grunge band from Canada, and speaking of 4-album runs, their first 4 albums are absolute classics. Unfortunately, they kind of lost me after that. They did another record where Rain Maida dialed in his singing a little bit. It wasn't quite as interesting. The music sounded a little bit neutered. It had a kind of almost cringy pop song on it. Which pop is great, but not when a post-grunge band is doing it, I guess. And it really only had like 3 kind of highlights on it, but their first 4 albums are incredible. And, you know, I always check in with them. Some of their newer records are okay. Some of the mid-career ones I don't like at all that much. But it's going to be Our Lady Peace, like I said, and it was like, should I pick Clumsy or should I pick the record that got me into them? And I ended up going with Happiness Is Not a Fish You Can Catch. Their third record came out in 1999. Still remember seeing the video for One Man Army, and it kind of blew me away. And it's probably my favorite song on the record, and in fact I have no doubt that it is. But yeah, Happiness and the Fish is up there, of course. And Thief, what an incredible song. Kind of tugs at your heartstrings. Stealing Babies, and Elvin Jones is drumming on that. Jeremy, you can hear him on drums too, but they got Elvin Jones coming in kind of in the latter half. And of course he's famous for, you know, being Coltrane's drummer for a while, as well as working with a lot of other great people. Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be Our Lady Peace. And honorable mentions, you know, I could say The Offspring, because I kind of grew up with them. Of Montreal, Orang, of course, who, you know, they only did 2 albums, but that was an offshoot of the band Talk Talk, and I love both those albums so much. The Orb, if you want to talk about some electronic music. A band I was supposed to see live, but didn't because of troubles at the border. And with them, not me. Ozzy Osbourne, and Uva Leuven. So yeah, that's going to be out. And thanks so much for watching. You wouldn't believe how many great P bands there are, so the letter P is going to be a difficult one. Though I know who's winning it, but it'll be really difficult for runner-up. So thanks so much for watching, and peace out everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in another video.